welcome back, everybody, to Game Over Cancer. My name is Mirne. I'm going to be your lovely host for the next couple hours. Before we get going with the next run, I do want to say thank you so much to High Five from Ryan for that $100 donation. Holy cow! With a message, love from the Hades speedrun community. How many fish was this? Whoops. Thank you so much for that donation. Every little bit helps. Make sure that you do exclamation D for the donation link, and let's hit our goals. All right, so the next game up is Contra Hardcore by the one and only ThePhantomire. I'm gonna go ahead and give it over to you. Good luck and have fun.
Thank you so much for the good luck, and welcome everybody to Contra Hardcore. So this is the run and gun and run and guns as far as I'm concerned. There's a lot of really wonderful stuff here. You may have actually seen this last year, and time is when I actually... Oops, hang on. The controller remapped here to my timer. Sorry. Just gotta switch that. So this is like the run and gun and run and guns as far as I'm concerned. There's so many wonderful things about it. You have 4 completely different characters who can do totally different things. You have 5 different routes to be able to play in this game. So time will start the moment that my feet touch the ground coming from the tank, and that's going to start in 3, 2, 1, and go. So one of the things that you're going to notice is a very Mega Man style-esque thing. You're going to see me sliding whatever it is that I can. We can't jump out of our slides, but we'll make use of it wherever it is that's possible. One of the other things that you'll probably have noticed right away is that I am playing on the Japanese version. Like most instances, the reason that we're doing that is to speed up the text, because for whatever reason they decide that we're going to speed up text in Japanese-based games. But the other thing about it is that we have a health bar. In the North American and the PAL versions, you don't actually have any health. So you have to go through, so if you get bonked once, bye-bye weapons, and you are in Agony City. So this gives us the option to have a little bit of safety and freedom, but at the same time, we also get to do some fun strats. Some of the deboosts actually give us opportunities to be able to speed things up and make sure that we are in a very good position to be able to take down bosses quickly, either through the deboosts or just simply being able to hold on to weapons as we do things. Some of the bosses wind up being a lot more of a pushover once you know what to do. Like this one, we just sort of stand here and do nothing, which is kind of a comfy, cozy thing to have, but some of them are really tough. One of the first things that you're going to see is we're going to be switching over to this C weapon here, and we're going to be holding on to this for dear life. It is our absolutely precious weapon. It does the most damage out of any weapon just in general, but we can even do even more damage as soon as it is that we start utilizing it in a really fun way, and that is shooting it off screen as much as possible. The quicker it is off screen, the more damage it does. So you're going to see me doing things where I'm going to be aiming at the ground and just hanging out at the edge of the screen. That is deliberate so that we can get that maximum damage per second. As we have our spinny shooty robots smashing everything about, we're just going to stand here safely and have, no worries here, just chilling out. So this is the first path divergence that we have. This game, like I said, has 5 different endings. This one we get to choose between either going and chasing that very rude person who took us out, or we have the option of being able to go to the lab and rescue a scientist, which, spoiler alert, very wily of him, he is the bad guy. I hate to break it to you now, but it's better to hurt the heart now. So you're going to see a kind of a combination of auto-scroller and sort of regular slidey shooty levels in this game. Luckily, the auto-scrollers shy of one boss are not particularly long, and you don't just kind of have to sit there like some of them. And this is going to be one that is going to be kind of split up between the 2 of them, and we actually wind up getting a neat reveal coming up where we actually find out that this is the alien that we're going to be fighting is going to be the alien from the end of Contra 3, so this is actually a direct sequel to Contra 3, which is really cool. So that's one of the 2 uses of the homing weapon that you're going to wind up seeing. It's just because missing with the C shot is very, very troublesome, so if we could just keep shooting that thing, all the better. And one of the other things that you're going to see happening throughout the run is beside my, like just above my health bar, you see something called Shot 1 and Shot 2. Shot 2, you remain stationary as you keep shooting, which is really, really convenient because then you can actually set up in nice spots where you can get your maximum damage but also stay safe. It would be a very, very different run if we didn't have that. So we're rescuing the future trader. I wish we could just end it here and now, but unfortunately no amount of foreknowledge in this game is going to prevent that. So we're going to be going back to sliding. Thankfully, while we're sliding, we are immune to any of the damage. We just got to make sure that we slide in these specific spots, not like that. The soldiers are completely random, so there's only so much you can do there. But luckily, we don't need to worry about our health here because we get to sit in a nice cozy corner in a new kill that I actually found about 15 minutes ago because I just found out that this weapon actually does more damage than the other thing that we have all been doing this entire time. So this boss is going to be playing with like little Lego block-like things. We're going to see this first cycle where no matter what happens, it's going to stack them in the middle and make this little pillar here. And the next thing that it will wind up doing is kind of putting them in random spots throughout the level. This one can wind up... That was actually pretty tight to being the bad cycle. Those things, he has to guarantee to be able to put them up in pairs, and sometimes they will clump together, and then the alien will be able to play the little Lego game too quickly, and then we have to go through another cycle. Thankfully, that didn't happen. And then this is actually the part where no matter what option you picked in the previous level, we converge on the same level, and that will be the case for the next 2 levels. So this one and the next one we always have to see, but then we'll have another split as we choose to either fight or surrender. So luckily we don't have to have a whole lot of interaction with everybody because we get to just slide under them, collect another bomb. We're going to be saving all of those until the bitter end. So as you can tell, there's only so much of this enemy that has an actual hitbox. It's mostly the arms, so we get to stay safely inside there and just shoot straight up to be able to, again, just get that weapon right off the screen as quickly as possible and do that huge damage. And then now we're on to probably my favorite boss of the game. We kind of get these like zodiac symbols in this kind of like, I don't know how to describe it, this like cyber zone kind of thing. It's a really neat boss, other than the fact that the randomness can sometimes be a bit of a pain. Because this thing gets to go wherever, do whatever it wants, which it just sort of did. Thankfully, we kind of accidentally got it each time. So we're going to be seeing 3 of these Zodiac enemies, and then we're going to be fighting a whole bunch of squares, which is the obvious enemy of choice when we're playing a Contra game. This one is the worst of the bunch because it gets to go wherever it feels like and can do some pretty fair damage. Thankfully, that was exactly what we wanted. So this spot here, during these middle parts, I'm not actually doing any damage to the boss. I am just racking up points. The only reason that I'm doing that is because there are some spots where we will take intentional deaths. So just as the buffer there, we do that. It's only when he fully transforms like this that we actually can start doing damage. And then we are on to the last form of this thing, which is the second use of our homing weapon. You can use any of the other weapons on this, but it's just very, very difficult to be able to hit the boss consistently and also stay safe, so we just do that, because there's not much of a time difference between the 2 of them. And now we are on to the potential. If you're going for a personal best in this game, this is one of the big run ending points of this. There are a lot of enemies that just sort of do whatever it is that they want, and there is nothing you can do to stop them. The first one we'll see is the snowman. So we're gonna hope that we can get some good RNG here. Uncooperative dragonflies. It's kind of neat because this game winds up being more of just like a boss rush kind of game, much like some of the other titles that these programmers worked on, like Alien Soldier. So it's kind of nice to see some of those influences and also some of the musical styles and everything like that. So this thing has two different attacks. It can wind up doing this shooting attack like that or do the grab. The ideal thing is that we get the grab twice and then we can just jump up and keep shooting. That's the quickest that we can hope for, but generally it does just one grab followed by one shoot. These are in a fixed position, so luckily we don't have to worry too much about this spot. On our lovely dinosaur friend who's just chilling out, having a great time. And now we're just going to walk over that pit, which doesn't look like we should be able to do it, but we can. So this boss can do just about anything. It can bounce around, it can spin in the middle, it can shoot fire, it can do all sorts of stuff. What we want it to do is hang out in the middle, hang out in the left corner and throw its arms, because then we can kill it without it doing anything, but unfortunately did not do that. That was the next best pattern, so not going to complain about that. This part we're guaranteed that is going to join together and go and kind of do this penguin waddle or a crab waddle off to the left, and then when it starts coming to the right we'll take it down before it can do anything to us. Fly around a bit, use our homing weapon. Sorry, I lied. This is the third time we use it. We use it so minimal that I don't even think about it.
Wow, way to just tell us fake news. Oh
I
my
know,
goodness.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to mislead everyone like that. You know, there's like hate in the chat and everybody's disappointed, but I hope you all forgive me.
I'm sure they will. I have a feeling, slight gut feeling. I am going to interrupt you real quick if that is all right.
It's auto-scroller time, so it's perfect time.
Oh, perfect. So we have a $5 donation from Manix86 saying, "Yo, Phanto, I am so sorry I'm not there as Brownie. Hi, Roger Art Crash. Oh no! Good luck, and let's put this towards Egon and new Ghostbusters too." Thank you so much for that donation. Every little bit helps. We really appreciate it. And you know what? Let's tell Cancer it's game over.
That's Mannix and I have a co-op world record in this game. And we had a heck of a time trying to be able to get that to run. We only got one successful run, and that was the one.
That sounds like a very marathon safe run, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much for that. And then I just found out recently from one of the new runners that rather than actually kind of wiggle on this screen, you can just hang out in the top right corner and nothing happens. You're completely safe. I have no idea why none of us thought of it before. So thank you, new runners. And if you want to run this game, please find new stuff too. We always love to see new people and thinking about this in new ways because it's such a cool run. There's so many wonderful things about it, and it's one of those games where the more that you get into it, just the more fun it winds up getting. Okay, so this one, it can point in any old direction here and shoot this laser in any old direction. There's nothing we can do to control that. Thankfully, that was really cooperative, so we could just sit in the corridor and shoot off to the right, and we're good to go. So now I'm going to be taking two intentional hits here just to take a death, because we want full health to do a deboost strat on this next boss, and we need 2 bars of health to be able to do that. Luckily, one of the nice things about that is that wherever it is that I plan to take a death, I can just equip the bombs, and then you do not lose any of your weapons. I generally only will need the C weapon for the rest of the run, but if anything goes wrong, I do want those other weapons as backups. So, well, we have the bombs. Let's abuse that.
I mean, abusing bombs, that's solid Life of Ice. Please don't follow that. I have another donation real quick from Malcrios. For that, thank you so much for that $4.04 donation saying 404, Halo 4 not found. Thank you so much for that donation. Yeah, and I'm gonna pass it back on over.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. And that was why we did that health drop and make sure that we had full health, because we just got to stand there and shoot our machine gun, and then we are good to go. And then now we are on our other divergent path. So there are one of the endings we would have passed by now, but there are 4 endings from this point depending on what you started with at the beginning of the game. Now we are going to be choosing surrendering, and we're going to see our lovely assassin friend again, because it just can't get enough of us. And let's make sure we choose the correct option. So text scrolling is really, really weird in this game because the shoot confirm button is the same thing, and you have to scroll text using the same button and also move the screen with the next button, same button. So misclicks are very much a thing. So sometimes, you know, my splits get changed later because it's like, oh, I guess we're running this now. Thankfully, we chose the correct one. So this one, with this boss, it's random as to where it is that it shoots. Thankfully, it's giving us a nice pattern here. But one of the big things is we only want to kill the right one, because for some reason, if you kill the left one, that enemy bounces all over the place instead of just sliding like that. That way, we get to just chill out at the bottom and be completely safe. But the other one it's rough. And I found that out just as of last week. I have no idea why I've never killed the other one until just last week, but here we are. So this is a unique boss that took a long time for me to figure out. What actually happened is this thing is going to bounce around, and then eventually it's going to go to the middle and shoot itself. So we can't actually do any damage to this thing. We just want it to do that. 3 shots, and it is gone. So here's our assassin friend in here for more. I'm going to be taking another intentional death because as of, I don't know, 20 minutes before this run, I found another quicker kill for this thing. So we want full health for that. So we'll take our death here on this little bonk. So this part, again, we're not doing any actual damage. I'm just doing this for the points because we are taking those intentional deaths. Let's just have ourselves a little bit of a safety here because those points add up quickly. As soon as it gets up here and starts shooting missiles, that's when we can start taking the damage. So now what I just found out is that you can just shoot up on this thing. It'll deboost us backwards into a good spot. We slide. And then take it out. The other way that was done before is you wind up doing the homing weapon, and it'll actually start another cycle and start shooting flames at us that are actually a real pain to dodge. So just having found that out right before a marathon, I will take. No one's going to complain about that. Okay, so now we're busting into the final lair here. We're getting ourselves one last bomb, and we're saving them the entire time solely for this boss and this boss alone. Because the last of our assassin friend here, he is a colossal pain if we actually have to fight this thing head on, so let's just not do that. He has to take a little bit of damage first, so I'm going to swap to this, shoot it for a little while, and then boom, 1 bomb. 2 bomb, and then 3. It's gonna bounce around a bit. Use our laser, and then boom, it is going to be gone.
All right, I have another donation real quick if you have some time.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you so much to Polytopes for that $20 donation. Thank you so much for that, and the incentive goes to Runner's Choice.
Oh, wonderful.
Have any,
Definitely Little
ideas?
Mermaid. We got to see KLM on that third loop.
You're my best friend. That's the one I'm pushing for.
I'm so excited for The Little Mermaid. It's going to be amazing.
Oh, yes, yes.
KLM always puts on a good show with that, so we have to. Thank you so much. That's my Mega Man 9 mentor, one of them right there. So happy to see that. So this fighter,
good community behind you.
yeah, I'm very grateful for that. So this boss gets to do whatever it wants, where it wants. So even while we were just kind of waiting on the run here, I was getting a few surprises as to I've never seen that before, and that's been the entirety of this week as I've been practicing it. Thankfully, that was actually the fastest that I've ever killed that, so I am not going to complain about that. And then now we are on the last boss on a surprisingly good pace. This actually might PB depending on what it is that I do here. So now he's going to be shooting these. He's going to do one quick little countdown. Hopefully not have to do a countdown. Shoot this other bomb here. Okay, nice. And going to transform into this weird double serpent thingy, which we only want to be seeing one cycle with this. So he's going to be going off to the right here, chilling out, shooting some stuff from the ceiling here. The positions of these are totally random. So hopefully we can get in maximum shots there. That wasn't too bad. And then this thing, we want to be close to it because we want it to kind of like curve into itself like this, because then we can do a lot more shooting on it. So this should be the one cycle right here. Good, good, good. And time is coming up. I'm just going to be shooting this thing a few times. Once it comes to about the middle, it should be dead here, and then as soon as it is that I stop shooting, that's when we have time. Boom. There we go. And that's Contra Hardcore for you. Almost even a PB. So thank you so much for having me. That was an absolute delight to be able to run at Game Over Cancer again, but a completely different route this time.
Well, GG, that was a ton of fun to watch.
That's wonderful to hear. I always like doing it. It's one of my favorite games ever. I love to be able to showcase it. There's so much neat tech, and having 5 different endings just makes it all the more exciting. You get bored, new ending. You get bored with a character, new character. No big deal. There's like 25 different paths available to you.
It always keeps it interesting, and that's what we like. All right, well, thank you so much for that awesome run. Anything else you want to say before we go ahead and switch on over?
Just a quick thanks to everybody who supported this and who supported me throughout this. I'm just nearing the end of my first year of streaming, and it's been an incredibly wonderful year, and support means everything, and it's especially cool that it's been able to get to the point where I'm able to showcase wonderful games like this at a marathon where we get to do so many things for such a great cause. So it's just thank you to everyone, and if you want to run this game, by all means feel free to message me at any time or join the Contra Discord. We always like to see new runners. We would love to be able to see them in all the Contra games, but obviously I'm a little bit biased towards hardcore, so if you want to learn it, by all means hit us up. We're always looking forward to new people joining us and pushing this game even further. It's a wonderful game and one of my favorite games ever, so definitely hit that up if you ever have any slight interest in it.
Awesome. All right, yeah, everybody, if you have a second, please go follow our awesome runner, ThePhantomire. And we are going to take a quick break, and we'll be back momentarily with Halo 3.